How are you doing, Valerie?
Doing good. That's funny. I sent you the message and then didn't attach the link. Sorry about that.
That's okay. And actually, it's easier because I have to send it from my phone to my computer. Email, I can get either place, phone
Straight
or
to
computer. You guys are good. Here we are on Memorial Day, and you guys are here.
Yeah, and you know what? I figured in the idea of staying consistent that we'd go with it, and who was here, and we'd run with it.
I think that's awesome.
And we got a new one here, Phyllis. It's so good to see you. It's been a long time since I see you. She lives down in Oklahoma now.
Wow.
All right. So I know, Greg, that you're going to have to leave a few minutes early. So as people jump on, hopefully we'll have a few more. We'll go ahead and get started here.
All right.
All right. Let's do I've got this down pretty pat, I do believe. I say that, I hope.
You do.
All right. So from beginning. There we go. Okay. So making certain that I don't lose there they are. It's kind of funny. Once you go to screen share, all your controls go to a different place.
Yeah. It takes some getting used to, doesn't it?
Yeah, I keep thinking they stay on the bottom, but they don't. So, all right, fantastic, Shauna. So, everyone, this is part 2 of Strengthening Your Health Foundation, and I'm pretty excited to jump on and do this. And I love sharing and empowering people through education to take charge of their health. So, every time I get the opportunity to do this, I just get excited. So, whether it's with 1 or 500, to me, I have just the same passion and excitement about doing it. So, without further ado, I'd like to jump in and get started here. So, well, we're back to that same issue where it doesn't want to move forward again. I was playing with this earlier. I don't know why this does this for me. Any clues on that?
Try because sometimes the little arrows will go so low on my screen, same thing. It kind of goes behind the control bar unless your control bar went to the top. I don't know. I sometimes use arrows on it's easier on my computer. Do you have the 4 directional arrows on your
Not
keyboard?
at all.
Then try sometimes just clicking on the picker, and some of them will advance it. You might have to. I'm glad it doesn't, because that can be maddening when you don't mean to.
Well, I'm going to shift it a little bit different then and go, well, I say that. Oh, goodness. I'm going to stop share and go back and do it again and see if this works better this way. Because then I can manually flip it through.
You know what? And that probably still works because it's still a big picture.
Right, here we go. So we're talking about Health Foundation. In the pictures, I wanted to focus on that I shared when I was talking about this whole idea that I want to approach having to do with beauty and what does beauty look like to you? And the thing is, if you remember from last week when we looked at the foundation and the roots and how that is so important in what the tree looks like, the strength of the trunk, the branches, whether or not it's strong enough to build a tree house in, hang a swing, the kids to climb in it, or the big, beautiful leaves, is the same type of theory that goes behind whether or not, like my beautiful allium that I have here in my yard now, or that's the picture of the woods there when I went walking with Dr. Allison out in Connecticut. And then here on the right, we have our youngest granddaughter, Eileen, who is a perfect example because she is truly a soul baby. And everything that went into that for helping her to be so laid back and happy and healthy, keeping in mind that her mother was a soldier and in Afghanistan. So we had to work a lot with the roots to have such a happy, healthy baby. And then, I put on here, for experiencing life. And I was driving with Allison and we saw this giant clover field and I told her to stop and I ran over and I just laid down in this clover and I was just looking up in the sun, just being in the element. All of these are about beauty and how we experience life. And yet it all comes down to how good we feel, how well we assimilate things. It's not just our genetic makeup. So what beauty looks like is so much bigger than what, and the general public thinks. It's not just it's more than surface value, I'm trying to say. So as always, one of the things we want to address, because we're talking about soul and how it addresses our foundations, is that one of the things, or the thing, that makes soul so unique. And it has to do with adaptogens. And really what I should probably put in here is, and why is soul so special? And it is because of the adaptogens. And it's so important that people realize that these are a non-toxic substance. And that is by definition. And so when we're looking about what we're putting in our body, so often we're having, unfortunately, to pay attention to, your food that you're buying. Where does it come from? What hormones has it been, has the animal had, if it's cattle or chickens, or is it GMO? And we're always looking at toxicity levels. And as a plant family, adaptogens are non-toxic. And it helps your body to deal with and adapt to stress. And right now, and if those of you who were on last week, you probably even see a difference as I'm starting to bounce back from dealing with everything with saving Troy's life. And adaptogens, I know, are the key to that. The fact that I came through that, and now that I'm being able to come back, because otherwise we've seen people that are affected for years or the rest of their life from something like this. And the fact that I'm able to come back and I'm feeling about 80%, next week I should be 90, and look out 2 weeks from now, everybody, because I'll be rocking and rolling. And I attribute the majority of that to the adaptogens and the fact that I have been taking them religiously for 8 years. So we're going to be talking about a particular program, or a couple different products, and how they work with the foundation. And one of the important elements in one of these products is chlorophyll, which is in Vital. And I had asked Greg, who of course is the founder and president of Solle Naturals, and I'm lucky and fortunate to call a good friend, to talk a little bit on the power of chlorophyll and how it works in blood and with the circulatory system. So take it away, Greg. Well,
I'm lucky and fortunate to call Val a friend, and many of you that I know that are on here tonight. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the invite, Val. I actually brought 10 slides to show you. I figure I have somewhere inside of 5 minutes, right? For my little.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll share my screen. This is from a presentation. Let's see. It says host is disabled. You might have to make me able to share screen. So look to your dot, there's 3 dots maybe, or if you click on your participants and you'll see me, Val, then click on the participants button and you can see me. There might be some dots there you can click on. It'll allow screen sharing or something like this.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Okay, so this is from one of the presentations Dr. Allison gave. And like Valerie, I love learning, and I learn something every time I review them, because I remember things from back when she presented this, but then honestly, there's a lot I don't remember, and I'm kind of learning it fresh, but I'm learning it where I'm at now. Valerie put an interesting thought, because I know that part of this group of products she's sharing, there's a package, and one of the products in this package has Solle Vital. And Solle Vital is really split 3 ways. It's got this group of adaptogens that Valerie just alluded to, these daily regulators that are so amazing, both for emotions and mood and mental sharpness, but also for physical flexibility is a good way of putting it. Because like Val said, you can go through a hard time and get more and bounce back. It's not that, we're not perfect with it, but we're a lot stronger, and we can see movement more easily in terms of, when we need to really step up and when we need to relax. It provides that adaptability, which is why the Russian scientist who studied them, why he gave him that name. He wasn't the one to find those herbs. The Chinese used him forever. In India, many of them were used forever. I call them, millennially. But he's the one that chose that name that we call him. And he's the one that kind of gave this classification where they're safe for daily use. In fact, you can't be an adaptogen, a true adaptogen, if it's not something that isn't safe. But we combine that group of adaptogens, there's 6 of them in Soul Vital, with some high mineral plants, because minerals so important for daily, that mineral bank every day, because we use it up. And the last group is the one Valerie asked me to talk about, which is chlorophylls, because there are 4 different, there are actually more than that in the formula, but in the group that we kind of classify as our prime chlorophyll blend, there are 4 plants that are either the highest or among the highest chlorophyll containing plants in their category. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And one thing that Valerie said, hey, can you just mention a little bit about the blood role of chlorophyll in terms of skin in particular, which I loved, because you know what? To me, you can boil that down as simply as this amazing body that we all have was created to absorb nutrition, produce energy, and also detoxify itself if we give it the chance. There's things we got to do, right? We need to be able to provide for rest, and we need to give the right nutrition, and we need to put ourselves in a good place emotionally so the body has a chance to do its job. And when it has a chance, it really is pretty amazing how it can take outside toxins, process them out, and get rid of them and stay strong. And chlorophyll actually plays a key role, the most common color perhaps in all of plantdom, right? I mean, what's more common than green? Okay, people know it affects the blood. We know it affects the performance of our blood. And our blood, not only does it bring nutrition, right, but it also carries and plays a key role in carrying away toxins. So Dr. Allison gave this presentation. She said, okay, well, how does chlorophyll actually do it? And she said, look, there's things you want in your blood, and that's the left side. You can kind of look at those. And there's things you don't want in your blood. That's the right side. Okay, toxins and pathogens, things that can hurt us, debris from wear and tear and from stress. We'll say it that way, right? And ROSs, okay, Valeria can explain to you what ROSs are, because she probably can do a better job than I can. I just know they affect the health of the blood in a negative way if you have too much of them in the blood. I don't know, Val, if you want to add something to that on these RO.
No, you're doing great. Go ahead. I can tackle it later.
Okay. So the body uses all these different ways to cleanse the blood. And when the blood is pure, then the tissue ends up being pure. When the tissue is pure, when the body's removing toxin, guess what? We get amazing skin. Skin's a great window into health. Like Valerie said, the secret to beauty is always and always has been from within. And when we can change things from within, we will amaze ourselves at the change in the outside. Kidneys, liver, lymph system, these are all roles, organs and organ systems that play a role in this process. Kidney filters, kidney balances pH, chlorophyll. The simple act of bringing chlorophyll in Soul Vital can greatly change from night to day kidney function. I cannot number the stories. I shared one last week, didn't I, Val, of somebody who had kidneys at 2-3% and now has their kidneys back. A big part of that is the adaptogens, and another big part is chlorophyll. Liver does so many different things, among them getting rid of things that damage us, chemicals, pathogens, okay? Chlorophyll builds it and affects it. The lymph connected into the blood and the circulatory system, okay, does deliver nutrients. We sometimes think of just cleaning, but it also plays a role in delivering nutrients and principally cleaning. When it's moving and not blocked and not compromised, skin changes. That's why one of the key products for all of immune system health is a lymph cleanser in Ayurveda. Intestines, they don't just provide a pathway to get rid of of waste. There are other things that happen in the intestines, right? And when they're inflamed, When they're irritated, they become porous. When they become porous, then things start to absorb back into us. Chlorophyll has an opposite effect on that. Chlorophyll will actually pull inflammation down and improve the membrane health so that, and so amazing, skin starts to look better. We have that brightness, okay, because we're not reprocessing. Lungs, same story as intestine. Healthy little lung air sacs, they don't let solid waste penetrate through. But when they're irritated, when they're inflamed, and I've been here, okay, that's been the fight of my life, right, on and off, then they become the emergency exit for the crap inside us. And that just causes us problems. When lungs are clear, also, blood's better, blood's clear. Now, pathogens, chlorophyll itself will actually act against them. Some great studies here that Dr. Allison showed, and I think these were like in the last, 3 or 4 years. That one's 2018, that was 2 years ago. And she just cited them: Salmonella, E. coli, parasites, all examples that actually chlorophyllin, which is just the water soluble form of chlorophyll, it actually showed great effect against. I'm always reminded of, the last thing I'll share today is, when we first launched Soul Vital, 2 big things happened. One was that big tsunami in the Far East, and there was radiation everywhere. Second thing, I remember a close friend making the decision to start on chemo. Now, we never judge friends who might, we prefer natural methods, but there are times when a person feels the right path for them is to do something a little differently in a particular moment. That's not something that we ever judge, but we know that it's going to carry side effects with it. Valerie knows this close friend, and what she was when she went through it, we knew there was going to be debris in the blood. There was going to be all sorts of muck to clean up. And I had just read a study, and Dr. Allison had pointed out to me, of how just chlorophyll itself, but consistent with it, maybe a couple times a day, but the use of nutritionally use of chlorophyll greatly mitigated the effects of chemo, greatly neutralized the effects of radiation. So there are so many ways that chlorophyll helps in this whole balancing process of acid and alkaline and toxins and being able to flow and detox and get the body to process. Chlorophyll is just so underrated. I couldn't talk enough. I could never say enough about how chlorophyll every day, how I wish I could convince every single person who influences what their household eats, to have some around and have people drinking it. And we keep it in powder so that it doesn't degrade. Drinking it freshly made powdered, stable chlorophyll every day, to me, it changes lives in every way. And I hope this little 10 slides here kind of paints a little picture as to how deeply chlorophyll helps the body do what it's made to do, which is keep us clean, improve the inner terrain so that the outer terrain can be beautiful. That's what I wanted to share about.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And because of the support that chlorophyll gives the kidneys, the skin is referred to as a third kidney. So that the more that the kidneys are supported to be able to do their job, the more beautiful the skin's going to end up as a result.
Well, and thank you for saying that, Val. And here's the last slide I ended before I wanted to show you this, because this I didn't remember, but look at this right here. Aside from the major effect, which is kidney, what you just said, liver and kidney, and that's why skin health changes so much with chlorophyll. But here's something I had forgotten that Allison had found. Hyaluronic acid, a lot of people will take shots or they'll take a supplement. There are some good and some bad for hyaluronic acid. And because they notice what it does for the skin and its youth and its, what would you call it? Its flexibility. And instead of becoming dry and collapsed and kind of wrinkled, it's vibrant. Well, this is one of the things chlorophyll does. It actually protects that hyaluronic acid that's naturally in us from breaking down. And I actually forgot that. But what an interesting thing. Chlorophyll, through so many different ways, you drink a lot of chlorophyll, you're going to like the way you feel most of all. And the way you look is that bonus.
Absolutely. Perfect. Let's see here.
Back to you, Val. I'll take my slides off.
Okay. So let's go back here. So it's pretty neat that one of my clients had actually sent me a Marco Polo yesterday because she saw the Zoom that I recorded from last week and she was so excited about it. She says, please, please, please feel free to share my story. And she had no clue what I was going to be talking about. Well, this woman reached out to me about a year and a half ago, and it had been a year at that point since she had had her 7th child. And during that time period, there had been issues after the cesarean. She wasn't recovering. They used a lot of pain meds, and literally it destroyed her whole gut flora. And she could only eat chicken and white rice or white rice noodles for an entire year. At one point, she was losing a pound a day. They didn't know what was going to happen with this poor woman. It was just, and I don't know why she waited so long to reach out because she's known me for a long time and has done things. But one of the protocols that we had got her started on involved the Soul Vital. And she even said, she says at one point she was having oh my gosh, we call it like illusions, mirage of whatever, I can't remember the term, that her roommate who'd passed over like the year before was right there sitting there with her. I mean, it had gotten very extreme. So she is at this point from using ProBio IQ, the Cinemate, Vertizymes, all the things that we're actually going to be looking at. She is now up to, she's probably got about 10 to 15 different fruits and vegetables. She soaks quinoa and she can eat that. She uses a bone broth. She is so excited to be becoming healthy for the first time in her life. And of course, this has launched a very in-depth study for her on the gut biome and understanding it. And I've actually asked her to tape her story because it is so amazing, and the dedication that she's put. And the doctors had pretty much thrown up their hands. They didn't know anything other than to give her a pain medicine for what she was dealing with. And Vital was huge for this, for her. So one of the things that we're looking at here is there is actually a program or a package when you go in to Solle Naturals called Bella Health Package, I believe it is. And it has got the Vital, it's got Cinemate, ProBio, and Vertizymes. And so it's really neat because a very good friend of mine who's a naturopath down in Louisiana, and then multiple other health and wellness coaches, all kinds of different alternative practitioners are getting together, and we have created this 30-day program that we're getting in and helping coach with. I've seen the modules. I'm in part of working with this. It is one of the most empowering tools I have ever seen for helping people get their gut restarted. So I want to make sure I share this because we're going to be starting this on June 1st. And so we'll be looking at supporting your gut and digestive health. We're going to be looking at emotions that come into play when you deal with all this. People are amazed at all the different levels, but we have to remember adaptogens support us also at that emotional and mind level as well to help you get through things. It's obviously not going to make your issues or challenges in life disappear, but it sure can help give you a foundation to make your way through it. We'll also be looking about how when you support the body properly, metabolism can kick in, the empowerment, balanced behavior. We'll be teaching different mindset, intermittent fasting. We'll have different videos. And I know, Greg, you're going to have to go in a minute because it's Savannah's birthday, which, by the way, please make sure you tell her happy birthday from Troy and I.
I will.
But if you could take 30 seconds maybe and share Itzamara's story, because I know this program is what she used and got such amazing results.
Yeah, because when she came, so Itzamara, many of you, she is supervisor over all of customer support. And she started just part-time. She was very sick. In fact, when we interviewed her, they told us, here's a person that's great, but she can't work very often, but she needs something. Is there something you have for Soul, and could Soul help her? And I got excited because I knew that we could, I knew if we could put her in touch with people like Valerie, she would get on the path she needed to get on. And we didn't have the whole product line completed when she came. It wasn't all the categories weren't all filled out as they are now. So mainly what she had was this particular package. Now she had a couple of other things she added in, but 90% of what she did was use this Bella Health package, the Sol Vital, the Cinnamate, Vertizymes, and ProBio. And she just used greater quantities because her health was so out of balance. She said she noticed a change within a day and a half, the start of a change, enough to where what she had gone through, she'd lay in bed for days and have to have someone come in and watch her kids while she's there. So for her to feel anything positive, and it had been enough years, it was a huge change for her. That got her to stay with it. And she learned over a very short period of time to figure out the quantities that worked best for her. And so she didn't just do like one packet a day. She saw how she felt. When she felt her body wanting more, she would just take more. Like Valerie said, adaptogens are non-toxic, and that's a key here. But I would say in every one of the areas that you've got listed there on the left side, she felt something about it that she later commented on. Every single one of those areas, I think she saw a big change. And through, what's funny is she just wanted to feel better and be able to be consistent, take care of her kids was her biggest goal. Work really wasn't her biggest goal. It was kind of the second thing. And what she found is she could do that and work. And she she just started losing weight, was not dieting. But you see her pictures before and after. I can't even remember what the total is now. It's something like 60 or 70 pounds or more. I can't remember, Valerie, to be honest with you, because we've just seen her. We've known her the last few years the way she is now. Having lost all that weight, kept it off. She doesn't diet. She's about health. So absolutely what you're saying, that was a living example right here in the office.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And she has so much vibrancy, and she glows from within. And of course, I didn't know her before that, or just, I guess I should say I became aware of her. And as she got more healthy, she stood out more and more because she felt better, and she did. She just glows, and she's just an amazing person. And she now has the foundation to be able to let herself show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where does the digestive system fit into our disease tree that we looked at last week? And if you look on here, the body systems is where we're looking at. So I thought this was kind of neat to look at because we're working on our digestive tract, getting the gut up and running, but we also talked about how the adaptogens are going to come in and support the mental and emotional stress. The adaptogens will help the body to deal with toxins, because what happens when you feel better? The body starts to clean house. The adaptogens are going to help physical trauma that we're dealing with, and the adaptogens will help to work as a bridge for the body as it does work to override nutritional deficiencies as you start to support. So I thought I'm going to make a point each time to bring this picture in to help you understand where that's factoring in. So here's the Bella Health package. There's the 4 items we're talking about. There is a protocol here. I know, Greg, I know you guys are getting this set up in the back office, so we'll have access to that sheet whenever people, just with the other product packages. So I'm pretty excited about that. Great. And so, like I said, Greg, I know you got to go. When you got to go, feel free to do it. It's okay. But we are going to get in and work on supporting everyone that decides to join in working forwards. This is a beta program, so it's the first time that anyone is going to be working through as a group doing this. So this is so timely. I cannot underscore enough the importance of it and what we're going to be doing in this. The support we're going to do with guiding you through understanding maybe little bits like why the chlorophyll is doing what it's doing, or why the emotions are coming up and how we can get in and address those. These are all exciting things. This will all be part of this Bella Health program. So a lot of people already have these items on hand. If you have them all on hand, awesome. And you want to join in, message me, let me know. And on the last day of the month, I'll put you into this group. It is on Facebook so that you can follow through and be part of this as we all get to share our stories. I was talking with Chris de Villiers, who's the naturopathic doctor, And she was talking about even just in this last week, since they've been dealing, you know, she's down in Louisiana, she's got her grandkids around, you know, been a lot of the grandkids coming in and cooking, making sweets. So she and her husband started diligently following through with the protocol and making sure it was going. And just in that 1 week, she had dropped 2 pounds of inflammation because it's getting in it and working on those toxins. And again, and I'm really trying to observe time for everyone since this is a holiday, and I do appreciate everyone getting in here. I just want to remind you again, with another quote that supports the validity of supporting your health. And I love this. Your health is a long-range investment that will pay off when you need it the most. And I can speak, you know, in our household, we so saw this come to pass in the last 6 months with Troy's journey, with my journey with being his caretaker. You know, we have, you know, put in time and working to support, and I'm so thankful that we were able to fall back on that foundation and make it through and come out with flying colors. So that's the end of the presentation, but I'm happy to hang around if anyone has any questions or wants to chat. This is recorded, so once I get it uploaded, I'll make a point to get it shared either tonight or tomorrow, so that hopefully if you have any other friends who might be interested in watching it, let's share the good news. Let's let people know that there are options, that they can take charge of their health and make a difference. And Phyllis, again, it was so good to see you. Kimberly, I hope your foot is getting better and the swelling's going down. Laura, it's been too long since I've gotten to see you and you're only 40 miles away. If no one has any question or thoughts or anything that they want to share, let me see. Let me stop the share just in case it helps me to be able to. There we go. City chats. Again, so good to see everybody. It's been wonderful. Go on and have an amazing rest of your weekend. And don't hesitate to message me if you have any questions or if you want to be part of that group. Kimberly, yes, I will. I'll put you on the list and I will add you into the group the last day of the month. All right. Anybody else? Oh, Phyllis. So good to see you. All right. Love all of you. Have a great rest of the day.